Did you wake up tired? No, I don't mean 5 more minutes tired. I mean tired in your bones. The kind of tired where you open your eyes and wish you hadn't. Where you slept 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours and still wake up feeling like something's off. That was me for a long time. Until I discovered something that changed everything. While Americans spend billions on sleep supplements and optimization gadgets, Nordic countries consistently rank as the happiest, most well-rested people on Earth. Coincidence? I don't think so. Here's what Nordic cultures understand that we've forgotten. You don't start your day when you wake up. You start it the night before. And the way you live across the other 23 hours determines how you feel in that first one. After studying how Scandinavians approach daily rhythm, I realized something profound. We're not failing at sleep. We're failing at being human. The Nordic approach isn't about hacking your biology, it's about remembering it. In this video, I'm going to share 4 Nordic habits that transformed not just my mornings, but my entire relationship with energy, rest, and what it means to feel truly alive. Habit 1. Ljus. The Nordic light mastery. In Sweden, they have a word, ljus. It means light, but it's deeper than that. It's the understanding that light isn't just something you see, it's something that sees you back, programming every cell in your body. While Americans grab their phones before their feet hit the floor, Scandinavians have practiced something radically different for centuries. They understand that your brain doesn't know what time it is. It only knows what light tells it. Think about this. Nordic countries endure months of near-total darkness. If anyone should struggle with energy and mood, it should be them. Instead, they've mastered the art of light like no other culture on Earth. They've had to. Here's what they discovered through necessity, that we're only now understanding through science. The first light you encounter each morning becomes the conductor of your entire biological orchestra. Nordic homes are designed around this principle. Large windows, light-colored woods, strategic placement of living spaces to catch every precious ray. But it's not just architecture, it's philosophy. They treat morning light like a sacred ritual. In Denmark, even during winter, you'll see people stepping outside for their morning ljus ritual. No phones, no rushing. Just 5 to 10 minutes of intentional light exposure, often combined with deep breathing. They call it finding your rhythm. Dr. Jus van Someren from the Netherlands Institute for Neuroscience studied this Nordic practice and found something remarkable. Cultures with intentional morning light rituals show 40% better sleep quality and significantly higher daytime alertness compared to those who start their day with artificial light. But here's where it gets interesting. While American morning routines focus on productivity, checking emails, getting ahead, maximizing output, Nordic morning routines focus on alignment. They're not trying to win the day, they're trying to join it. When natural light hits your eyes, especially in the first hour after waking, it triggers a cascade of biological responses. Your cortisol levels spike in exactly the right way, giving you natural energy. Your melatonin production resets for better sleep tonight. Your internal temperature begins its daily rhythm. Nordic cultures stumbled upon this through seasonal survival, but now science confirms what they've always known. Light isn't just environmental, it's medicinal. I started practicing Nordic light mastery, and something shifted immediately. Instead of jarring myself awake with blue light and notifications, I began each day with a conversation with the sun, sometimes at the window, sometimes outside, always without screens. The transformation wasn't just physical. There's something profoundly grounding about starting your day in dialogue with something older than your to-do list. Something that's been rising and setting long before you had problems to solve or emails to answer. This isn't about becoming Nordic. It's about remembering that you're not a machine to be optimized, but a biological being designed to dance with natural rhythms. Habit 2. Måltidsrytm. The wisdom of meal rhythm. Here's something that might surprise you. Nordic families typically eat dinner between 5 and 6 p.m. Not 8 p.m., not 9 p.m. like many European cultures. and certainly not the American habit of grabbing dinner whenever work finally releases its grip. They have a concept called måltidsrytm, meal rhythm. While we think about what to eat, Nordics think about when to eat, and this seemingly simple shift creates profound changes in sleep quality. In Norway, I witnessed something beautiful. Families gathering around the dinner table while it's still light outside, treating the evening meal not as the end of productivity, but as the beginning of rest. No phones, no television, just conversation and connection as daylight softly fades. Compare this to American dinner culture, where we often eat our largest meal within hours of bedtime, frequently while consuming stimulating content or catching up on work. We've turned dinner into another productivity task rather than a transition ritual. Nordic cultures understand something we've forgotten. Your digestive system has its own circadian rhythm. When you eat a heavy meal late at night, you're asking your body to be active while you're trying to rest. It's like asking someone to run a marathon while they're trying to meditate. Swedish research from the Karolinska Institute found that people who eat their main meal before 6 p.m. experience 60% deeper slow-wave sleep, the restorative sleep phase responsible for physical recovery and memory consolidation. Their bodies aren't working overtime to digest while trying to repair. But måltidsrytm isn't just about timing, it's about intention. Nordic evening meals are smaller, simpler, often featuring foods that naturally support sleep. Fatty fish rich in omega-3s, whole grains that stabilize blood sugar, warm soups that gently lower core body temperature. There's also a cultural philosophy at play. In Finland, they have a saying, syö kuin kuningas aamulla, kuin ruhtinas päivällä, ja kuin kerjäläinen illalla. Eat like a king in the morning, a prince at midday, and a pauper in the evening. This isn't about restriction, it's about rhythm. They're eating in harmony with their body's natural energy cycles rather than fighting against them. I adopted Nordic meal rhythm, and the change was immediate. No more food comas, no more tossing and turning while my stomach worked overtime. I began waking up light rather than heavy, hungry for breakfast rather than dreading it. The deeper insight here is cultural. Nordic societies structure their days around natural energy flows rather than forcing energy to serve their schedules. They work with their biology, not against it. Habit 3. Kvällsstillhet. The art of evening stillness walk through a Nordic neighborhood at 8 p.m. And you'll notice something striking. The quality of light inside homes is different. Softer, warmer, almost golden. This isn't accident, it's intention. Kvällsstillhet translates to evening stillness, but it's more than just quiet. It's a cultural understanding that evening is not daylight with dimmer lighting. It's a completely different energy that requires completely different behaviors. While American evenings often look like mini days, bright lights, active entertainment, late-night productivity, Nordic evenings embrace what they call mise. This untranslatable concept roughly means cozy time, but it encompasses an entire philosophy of how to transition from day to night. In Swedish homes, you'll find multiple light sources, all warm and low. Candles aren't just decoration. They're technology for signaling to your nervous system that it's time to shift gears. The Danes burn more candles per capita than any other country, and it's not just for hygge, it's for sleep. Nordic cultures have understood for generations what we're now proving in labs. Your brain uses light intensity and color temperature as primary cues for hormone production. Bright blue light tells your brain to suppress melatonin and stay alert. Warm, dim light signals safety to rest, but kvällsstillhet goes deeper than lighting. It's about creating what sleep researchers call a cognitive sunset, a gradual slowing of mental activity that parallels the physical sunset. In Finland, evening activities often involve repetitive, meditative tasks, knitting, reading, gentle movement, sauna sessions. These aren't just hobbies. They're neural down-regulation practices that shift your nervous system from sympathetic, alert, to parasympathetic, rest mode. Compare this to typical American evenings, scrolling through emotionally charged content, binge-watching stimulating shows, late-night work emails, bright overhead lighting until bedtime. We're essentially injecting ourselves with adrenaline while expecting our bodies to shut down. Nordic. Research from the University of Oslo found that people who practice structured evening wind-down rituals fall asleep 40% faster and experience 25% more REM sleep, compared to those who maintain daytime energy levels until bedtime. When I embraced kvällstillhet, something profound shifted. Evenings stopped feeling like the rushed ending of day and became the sacred beginning of rest. I installed warm lighting, created technology boundaries, and discovered activities that naturally slowed my mind. The transformation wasn't just about sleep. It was about relationship with time itself. Instead of cramming activity into every available moment, I learned to honor transition, to let evening be evening rather than forcing it to be extended day. This Nordic wisdom challenges our cultural assumption that more activity equals more living. Sometimes, the most profound act is simply learning how to stop. Habit 4. Morgenrørelse, the philosophy of morning movement here. As something that might surprise you about Nordic morning movement, it's not about fitness, it's about awakening. While American mornings often begin with jarring alarms and immediate digital stimulation, Nordic mornings embrace what they call morgenrørelse, gentle, intentional movement that serves as a bridge between sleep and waking consciousness. In Sweden, even during harsh winters, you'll see people stepping outside for morning movement. Not aggressive exercise, not goal-oriented training, but simple, rhythmic motion that tells their bodies, "We're alive, we're here, we're beginning." This connects to a deeper Nordic relationship with nature called allemannsretten, the right to roam. This cultural principle gives everyone access to natural spaces, creating a society where morning movement naturally happens outdoors, in connection with seasonal rhythms. Nordic morning movement looks different from American fitness culture. Instead of high-intensity workouts designed to burn calories or build muscle, it's gentle activation designed to circulate energy, increase body temperature, and synchronize circadian rhythms. In Finland, morning saunas serve this purpose. The heat gently raises core body temperature, signaling to the brain that it's time to be awake and alert. In Norway, brief morning walks, regardless of weather, serve the same function. Research from the Swedish School of Sport and Health Sciences found that people who engage in gentle morning movement within 30 minutes of waking show significantly better mood regulation, focus, and energy throughout the day compared to those who remain sedentary until later. But here's what's really interesting. Nordic morning movement isn't about overcoming the body. It's about joining it. While we often use exercise to force energy, they use movement to discover energy that's already there. The science supports this approach. Morning movement increases circulation, releases mood-regulating neurotransmitters, and helps establish healthy cortisol patterns. But it doesn't require intensity to be effective. I adopted Nordic-style morgenrørelse, and the shift was immediate. Instead of jarring myself awake with stimulants or scrolling, I began each day with 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement, sometimes stretching, sometimes walking, sometimes just standing and breathing deeply. The transformation went beyond physical. There's something profound about starting your day by inhabiting your body, rather than escaping into digital distraction. You remember that you're not just a brain carrying around a body. You're an integrated system designed to move, breathe, and be present. Nordic morning movement challenges the American assumption that rest and activity are opposites. Instead, they show us that gentle movement can be a form of active rest, a way of waking up with your body rather than against it. The Nordic integration. Why these habits work together here is what Nordic cultures understand that we're just beginning to discover. These habits aren't separate techniques. They're components of a complete system for living in harmony with natural rhythms. Ljus, måltidsrytm, kvällstillhet, and morgenrørelse work together to create what sleep researchers call circadian coherence, when all your biological systems are synchronized and working together rather than fighting each other. While American culture often treats sleep as something to optimize with individual hacks and supplements, Nordic culture treats rest as something that emerges naturally from a well-lived day. They don't force sleep. They create conditions where sleep becomes inevitable. The deeper insight here is philosophical. Nordic happiness isn't about pursuing pleasure or avoiding discomfort. It's about finding balance, which they call lagom in Swedish. Not too little, not too much, just right. These four habits embody lagom perfectly. They're not extreme interventions but gentle alignments with how your body naturally wants to function. They don't require willpower because they work with your biology rather than against it. When you practice Nordic rhythm, something beautiful happens. You stop fighting for energy and start generating it naturally. You stop forcing sleep and start earning it through aligned living. You remember what it feels like to wake up as yourself, rather than as someone who needs fixing. You're not broken. You're just out of rhythm with something older and wiser than our modern assumptions about how life should be lived. The Nordics didn't create these habits to be productive. They created them to be human. And maybe that's exactly what we've forgotten. That the goal isn't to optimize ourselves into machines, but to remember how to be magnificently, naturally, restfully human. These Nordic secrets aren't about becoming Scandinavian. They're about discovering what happens when you stop fighting your biology and start dancing with it instead. Try one habit this week, not to become more Nordic, but to become more yourself. Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply remember how to rest.